encontram-se à esquerda para quem sai da sala. O nosso ponto de encontro é exatamente no parque. Dizer que os colegas também estão instruídos exatamente para dar assistências em casos de...
Just hold on, peço desculpas, peço só um minuto, voltamos novamente ao protocolo. Gostava de anunciar a entrada de Sua Excelência Silvino Moreno, Ministro da Indústria e Comércio de Moçambique.
Encontram-se à esquerda para quem sai da sala. O nosso ponto de encontro é exatamente no parque. Dizer que os colegas também estão instruídos exatamente para dar assistência em caso de...
Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Excelência, muito obrigado. Obrigado. We can take the seats, please. Thank you. Obrigado. Excelência, nós vamos começar, antes de mais, com o protocolo de segurança com o hotel. Radisson a explicar-nos qual é o protocolo.
Mais uma vez, muito bom dia. Bem-vindos ao Hotel Radisson e Residências. Estou aqui exatamente para partilhar aquilo que o hotel oferece em termos de segurança e em caso de evacuação. Dizer que nos encontramos na sala Rovuma. A sala está equipada por um sistema de segurança que aciona automaticamente, dando instruções por seguir. O nosso ponto de encontro localiza-se exatamente no parque. Os lavabos à nossa esquerda para quem sai pela sala. Dizer que os colegas estão instruídos ou capacitados para dar assistência em caso de primeiros socorros. É recomendado também para que não entrem em pânico em caso do sistema acionar, simplesmente sigam as instruções de segurança e desejar a todos um bom trabalho. Obrigado.
Obrigado. Muito obrigado por este protocolo. Vamos então dar início. Para começar, gostava de chamar o diretor-geral da ARIPO, o senhor Bemania Chebaz. Antes de termos as palavras aqui deste discurso, a nossa atenção ao hino nacional.
Moçambique, nossa terra gloriosa, pedra a pedra construindo novo dia, milhões de braços, uma Vamos vencer.
Muito obrigado pela atenção. Foi o nosso hino nacional. Excelência, com a sua permissão, vamos então dar início ao programa hoje e, desta vez sim, gostava de convidar para o seu discurso o diretor-geral da ARIPO, o senhor Bemania Chebas. E, ao mesmo tempo, gostava de dizer que é muito importante para todos os convidados andar com o crachá em todo o recinto do hotel, tem que andar com este crachá. Todo o crachá, assumo que todos os convidados aqui têm o crachá, portanto, é obrigatório usar o crachá. Mr. Bamania.
So you can speak. Okay. The guest of honor, Honorable Silvino Moreno, Minister of Trade and Industry of the Republic of Mozambique, the Director General of World Intellectual Property Organization, Ms. Darren Tang, the Chairperson of the Administrative Council of ARIPO, Mr. Willie Mushai, the Director General of the Institute of Industrial Property of Mozambique, Mr. Jose Joaquim Mek, members of the Administrative Council, the Director General of WIPO, Dr. Dennis Rokubu, the Chief Executive Officer of the Canadian Intellectual Property Office, Mr. Jogras Konstantinos, the President of the Eurasian Patent Office, Mr. Grigory Ivliv, representatives of the observer states, the representative of the European Patent Office, Dr. Fernando dos Santos, the representative of the IP Office of Singapore, Mr. Walter Chia, the representative of the International Trademark Association, Mr. Tat Tien Wembi, the representative of the International Confederation of Societies of Authors and Composers, CISAC, Mr. Samuel Sangwa, representatives of cooperating partners who joined us virtually, patent and trademark agents and attorneys, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our guest of honor, Honorable Silvino Moreno, Minister of Trade and Industry, the distinguished members of the Administrative Council of ARIPO, and all our guests to the 46th session of the Administrative Council of ARIPO. Allow me, Honorable Minister, through you to express my immense gratitude to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Filipe Nyusi, the government and people of Mozambique, for having kindly offered host the ARIPO Administrative Council. We would like to appreciate Mozambique more, not only because the task of hosting the Administrative Council session is demanding, but also because they took the plunge amidst COVID-19 when there was no telling when the pandemic would abate. The clear message here is that intellectual property in Mozambique is taken seriously and is having a turning point, especially regarding recognition of its role in the socio-economic development of our continent. It is also testament that this country values greatly the work of ARIPO. We cannot thank you enough, Honorable Minister. I have the singular honor at this juncture to welcome a special guest, the Director General of the World Intellectual Property Organization, Ms. Darren Tang. I wish to take this opportunity to express ARIPO's immense gratitude for the important work you are doing to directly support not only our member states, but also the work of the Secretariat. Your focus on Africa has been unparalleled, and it is clear testimony that you are willing to ensure that under your leadership of the World Intellectual Property Organization, no one is left behind. I will later on be reporting on the various impactful initiatives that we undertook in collaboration with WIPO and the achievements recorded in that context. But may be allowed to single out one, the HIPOC that was hosted in the Kingdom of Eswatini. It was transformational, and with many other activities, would like to thank you for that initiative. Thank you very much, Mr. Darren Tang, for being with us in this 46th session of ARIPO Administrative Council. Guests of honor, we are all pleased to be here as we enjoy the hospitality, splendor, and majesty of Maputo, with breathtaking views of the vast expanse of the mighty Indian Ocean. May I take this opportunity to extend my utmost appreciation to the local organizing committee in Maputo, for we were treated to a special, smooth, and stately welcome. In that connection, allow me to express my sincere gratitude to the Director General of the Institute of the Industrial Property of Mozambique, Mr. Jose Joaquim Mek, and his able team for preparing and organizing this event. No amount of superlatives can express my sincere appreciation. Guest of honor, the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization was established to promote harmonization and development of intellectual property laws and to establish common services for the coordination, harmonization, and development of intellectual property activities, among other things. See agile, and high-performing organization. The review of the implementation of the strategic plan 2016-2020 revealed that there is low ratification and domestication of some of the protocols, such as the Banjul Protocol, the Stockholm Protocol, and the Arusha Protocol. We therefore undertook engagements, including a high-level sensitization mission on the Arusha Protocol to the United Republic of Tanzania. The high-level engagement organized with the kind facilitation from the Business Registration and Licensing Agency, BRELA, is surely starting to bear fruit. The work continues, as it is an intentional process that ensures that we build on the momentum as time goes on. We also have assurance that the Republic of Ghana is in its final stages of ratifying the Arusha Protocol, and we are hopeful that in the course of next year, we will have the required number of ratifications of the protocol to come into force. Based on the foregoing and more that will be reported in this session, we remain upbeat about the achievements we hope to register in the following years and the future to come. Guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, in our various initiatives, we have enhanced our relationship with our cooperating partners. We are grateful to them for the invariable support they continue to extend to ARIPO, and some of them are here with us and will be delivering statements during this session, whereas others have joined virtually. I wish, therefore, to appreciate the World Intellectual Property Organization, the African Intellectual Property Organization, the Canadian Intellectual Property Office, the China National Intellectual Property Administration, the European Union Intellectual Property Office, the European Patent Office, the IP Office of Singapore, the Japan Patent Office, the International Trademark Association, the International Confederation of Societies of Authors and Composers, the International Union for the Protection of New Varieties of Plants, the Community Plant Variety Office, and the United States Patent Office. I will have opportunity to report on the individual achievements that we have recorded with the partners. I would also like to appreciate the intellectual property agents for the work they are doing to support the patent and trademark system, especially under ARIPO. Indeed, their contribution adds tremendous value in many ways, and as ARIPO, we continue to remain at their disposal in enhancing our collaboration. Guests of honor, distinguished members of the Administrative Council, this is the second ordinary Administrative Council session I have convened as the Director General. When I assumed office in January 2021, the world was still grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic, which continued to a certain extent in 2022. Despite those challenges, ARIPO has demonstrated resilience with the operations running undisrupted and has recorded remarkable successes with respect to IP operations, finances, and collaborative initiatives. Among other things, industrial property applications have increased by 26%. The revenue generation has increased, surpassing its target by 30% compared to last year. Revenue generation has grown by 19%. The partnerships are continuing to be recalibrated and refined for more focus and impact, and most importantly, for addressing the needs of member states. I'm happy to note that all core and support operations have been streamlined into an effective and efficient system. This ensures the optimum deployment of inputs and maximizing of results. In other words, achieving more with less. Our intentional plans, policies, and strategies have clearly snowballed to produce demonstrable results. It is on that note and strength that we are in a reorientation posture where the focus is now being shifted from austerity to fully driving the organization's strategic plan. There is a need to continue the focus on the full-scale implementation of ARIPO work plan and development of revenue generation strategies. As the ARIPO system becomes more and more attractive, we experience intrinsic and extrinsic benefits. I'm therefore delighted to highlight that we are registering membership growth. And on that exciting note, kindly allow me to congratulate and welcome the Republic of Cape Verde, which became the new and 22nd member state of ARIPO effective 14th July 2022. Thank you very much. Guest of honor, for these achievements and others that will be highlighted later today in my report could not have been achieved without the support and commitment of the members of the Administrative Council. I wish therefore to express my most sincere gratitude to the Chairman of the Administrative Council, Mr. William Shai, for the support, availability, guidance, and astute leadership. I would also like to extend my gratitude to all the members of the Administrative Council for the support you continue to extend to me and the Secretariat as we implement and carry out the assignments that you've given to me. Guests of honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude my remarks, allow me to acknowledge in our midst the delegations of two of our distinguished and esteemed observer states, Angola and Burundi, represented by Mr. Candido Jao Duwat and Mr. Deogracius Nahumremi, respectively. We hope that in the near future, we will be welcoming the Republic of Angola and the Republic of Burundi as full member states of ARIPO, as indeed today we've been welcoming Cape Verde. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, allow me in the most special and heartful way to express my appreciation to all the governing bodies of ARIPO for the tremendous support rendered to me and the Secretariat. The support signifies commitment of the member states of ARIPO towards the improved use of intellectual property for socio-economic development of Africa. As ARIPO, we must be intentional in ensuring that intellectual property addresses not only our member states, but the continent at large, and the challenges that we collectively face that include access to medicines, food security, employment creation, and the climate change, to mention but a few. I'm pleased to note that ARIPO member states are adopting or updating their legal and policy framework related to intellectual property. In that context, I would like to congratulate Botswana that launched their national IP policy on 15th November 2022. Mr. Conductor Masena, thank you very much for the leadership that you continue to offer to Botswana, but also to ARIPO as an organization. Let me take this opportunity to once again thank the government of Mozambique for allowing us and ensuring that this event proceeds in the grand style that we are treated to. We are extremely grateful. Thank you very much, and I wish you all fruitful deliberations and a successful meeting. Muito obrigado.
Muito obrigado, Sr. Bemania Tebas, diretor-geral da ARIPO. Vamos seguir, temos a sequência de 2 vídeos, portanto, discursos gravados, neste caso, e queria pedir à produção primeiro para apresentar o primeiro vídeo, que é da JPO. Temos a sequência de 2 vídeos, discursos gravados, e queria pedir à produção
I understand that Africa is now making great strides towards sustainable development through economic structural reform in order to achieve the long-term goal set out in the Agenda 2063. Under these circumstances, at the 8th Total International Conference on Africa Development, or TICAD, held in Tunisia in July of this year, Japan's Prime Minister Kishida made remarks. In the remarks, he expressed his thoughts that as a partner working together, the firm will make a strong contribution to the realization of sustainable growth of Africa. The JPO recognizes that it is important for sustainable growth in Africa to develop a business environment through IP protection. Based on this recognition, the JPO has contributed to strengthening the IP foundation in Africa in the project under the WIPO Funds in Trust, Japan Industrial Property Program, or FIT, Japan IP Growth, IPR training programs for African countries and others. For example, under the FIT Japan IP Growth this year, the JPO held a webinar on the theme of IPR innovation for SMEs and as an IP event related to TICAD 8 for all regions of Africa. In addition, for the purpose of effective use of IP-like system, our office held regional forums on several themes of including the African Continental Free Trade Area and IP and use. Through these initiatives, the JPO has been working to raise IP awareness of African SMEs and youth entrepreneurship in African countries. In addition, as an ongoing initiative under the FIT Japan IP Growth, we have been also working on human resource development by awarding scholarships to those participating in master's degrees of intellectual property program at African University. So far, there are 120 graduates from the MIP program supported by the FIT Japan IP Growth, and some of whom are currently playing a vital role at the WIPO. Furthermore, the JPO recognizes that it is extremely important to develop human resources to promote economic development of African countries. Under the recognition for more than 25 years, the JPO has provided African countries our training programs to improve their knowledge in IP field. Up to now, 104 partners from ARIPO and its member states have taken this training. Africa is attracting worldwide attention as the greatest frontier of the 21st century. In order to contribute to the further development of Africa as a partner working together, the JPO will continue to actively work on cooperative activities with Africa from the perspective of intellectual property, while further building better cooperative relationship with all of them. Finally, I would like to express my heartfelt wishes for the further development of ARIPO and its member states. and for the success of the ARIPO Administrative Council. Thank you very much for listening.
Muito bem, e vamos ter também mais um outro momento de um discurso gravado, desta vez da CENIPA.
尊敬的各位部长、各位同事、各位朋友，很高兴您要参加非洲地区知识产权组织行政理事会年度会议，和大家再次在云端相聚。首先，我谨代表中国国家知识产权局对会议的成功召开表示祝贺，对特委贝泽总代表的盛情邀请表示感谢，并向 ARIPO 的朋友们表示问候。多年来，非洲地区知识产权组织致力于提高本区域公众知识产权意识，推动区域内知识产权事业发展，协调成员国知识产权事务，对促进本地区的技术创新和经济增长起到了重要作用。ARIPO 的成员数量持续增加，国际影响力不断提升。作为老朋友，我对 ARIPO 的不懈努力表示赞赏，为 ARIPO 取得的成绩感到骄傲。中非是休戚与共的命运共同体，是风雨同舟、守望相助的好朋友、好伙伴、好兄弟。中非人民长期友好，在经贸、投资、技术以及人文交往等方面开展了全面、深入、务实的合作。近年来，中国国家主席习近平就加强中非合作做出一系列重大部署，推动中非务实合作迈上了新的台阶。特别是今年以来，习近平主席相继向第2届中非和平安全论坛、第5届中非媒体合作论坛致贺信，同非洲联盟领导人就非盟成立20周年和中国非盟建立外交关系20周年互致贺电，为深化中非友好合作指明了前进方向。中非知识产权合作是中非合作的重要组成部分。非洲地区知识产权组织是中国国家知识产权局在非洲的重要合作伙伴之一。自2007年双方正式建立合作关系以来，在高层互访、政策交流、人员培训、审查实践等多个领域积极开展务实合作，取得了丰硕成果。我局还通过与世界知识产权组织合作设立的中国信托基金，开展了一系列面向非洲地区的知识产权学位教育、专业培训、研讨交流等合作项目。今年双方专利审查高速路合作磋商取得了积极进展。10月，在 ARIPO 的积极参与和协助下，我局成功举办了面向非洲地区的知识产权培训班，学员的范围和规模进一步扩大，取得了良好的效果，为双方交流提供了很好的平台。我们希望在不久的将来，疫情能够结束，还可以像往常一样邀请 ARIPO 的同事到中国交流学习。各位同事，虽然不能亲临现场，但我能感受到会场的热烈友好的气氛。此时，我不由想起去年在中非合作论坛第8届部长级会议开幕式上，习近平主席深刻阐述了中非友好合作精神，也就是真诚友好、平等相待、互利共赢、共同发展、主持公道、捍卫正义、顺应时势、开放包容。中国国家知识产权局与非洲地区知识产权组织的合作，正是这种精神的具体体现。我们愿与非洲地区知识产权组织携手同行，继续大力弘扬中非友好合作精神，深入探讨双方未来合作的方向和务实举措，为推动构建更加紧密的新时代中非命运共同体提供有力支撑。最后，预祝本次会议取得圆满成功。谢谢。
Uma salva de palmas. Thank you. Round of applause. Vamos então seguir. Gostava agora de chamar para o seu discurso o representante do CISAC, Senhor Samuel Sangua. Uma salva de palmas, por favor, a round of applause, please, to Mr. Samuel Sangua.
Honorable Mr. Silvino Moreno, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Republic of Mozambique. Mr. Darren Tang, Director General of the World Intellectual Property Organization. Mr. Bemanya Prebaze, Director General of the Africa Regional Intellectual Property Organization. Mr. Denis Boussou, Director General of Organisation Africaine de la Propriété Intellectuelle. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Let me start first by extending the greetings from the International Confederation of Societies and Authors, CISAC. With 228 members in 119 countries across the globe, CISAC represents over 4 million creators from all regions of the world and from all artistic repertoire, stretching from music, audiovisual, visual arts to drama and literature. To share a snapshot of the copyright landscape as highlighted by the latest CISAC Global Collection Report for 2022, the pandemic had disrupted the traditional long-term upward trend in royalties collected by CISAC societies across the globe. For 2020, for all repertoires put together, we reported a decline of 10% compared to the previous year. This meant that in terms of the level of collection, the pandemic sent us 5 years back to what we collected in 2015. In Africa, we went from 80 million euros to 60 million. The good news is that royalties collected by CISAC members are back to growth. Collection in 2021 rose 5% to 9 billion euros, restoring our sector's pre-COVID collection year-by-year trend. As far as Africa is concerned, we went from 60 million to 79 million for 2021. However, the recovery is not complete. And the challenge ahead is to maximize royalties from digital use to drive future growth. The present ARIPO 46th session of the Administrative Council is a strategic opportunity to pick up the momentum and get full implementation back on track. In this regard, on behalf of Mr. Gadi Oron, Director General of CISAC, and myself, I would like to thank the World Intellectual Property Organization and ARIPO for the long partnership in fostering copyright compliance and protection in Africa, through support to enabling legal and institutional framework, increasing access and use of necessary technology and infrastructure to maximize collection of digital royalties, building and reinforcing capacities of copyright societies in ARIPO member states. I wish us all fruitful deliberation during this administrative council for the sustained development of cultural and creative industries, as well as the betterment of socioeconomic condition of creators across the continent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sangwa. So, vamos então continuar e vou chamar o representante do International Trademark Association, o senhor Tatian Lombe. Uma salva de palmas, por favor.
Honorable Mr. Moreno, Director General of the Africa Regional Intellectual Property Organization, the Chairperson of the Administrative Council, Director General of World Intellectual Property Organization, Monsieur le Directeur Général de l'Organisation africaine de la propriété intellectuelle, the CEO of Canadian Intellectual Property Organization, distinguished delegate, dear friends. It's a real pleasure to be here in Maputo. On behalf of INTA, I would like to thank you all. Our presence here demonstrates the strong relationship with ARIPO, and I would like here to make a special thanks to Mr. DG for his strong support and participation in INTA activities. In this regard, I would like to highlight key successful achievements, such as the IP of the Future report, which laid out recommendation that will aim at paving the way forward in terms of what will look like the IP of tomorrow. In addition, DG of ARIPO, we have been able to kickstart activity related to women in IP, youth entrepreneurship, as well as education and other raising awareness activities. The road ahead is long. It will be tumultuous, but we still believe that together we will all be able to meet the challenge of tomorrow. Having said that, I would like to conclude by thanking the organizer, thanking our distinguished delegate and friends, and I look forward to seeing you all in Singapore, where INTA will be organizing its annual meeting, May 15 to 24th of next year. I thank you all.
Muito obrigado, Sr. Tatian Lombe. A seguir, vou chamar o representante do IP Office of Singapore, o Sr. Walter Chia. Uma salva de palmas.
Honorable Minister, Council, Mr. Willy Mushai, Director General of WIPO, Mr. ARIPO, Mr. Benwanya, of the Industrial Property Institute of Mozambique, IP officers,
cemented itself as a special partner. This can be attributed to our shared interest in developing a robust patent system that is aligned with the international best practices and caters for efficient patent examination and the highest patent quality. The fourth industrial revolution and the benefit of its technologies are sweeping across Africa and rejuvenating its economies. If previous revolutions bypassed the continent, Africa is certainly reaping the rewards of this new revolution. This wave of change is characterized, for example, by the massive use of e-payment systems, blockchain technologies, the use of drones to deliver medicines and execute tasks in agriculture, gene editing technologies to facilitate the development of drought-resistant plant varieties, and sophisticated precision farming technologies, to name but a few. An efficient and reliable patent system is critical to enable these innovations to scale and to flourish. But it is also critical for promoting economic development and societal progression in the continent. EPO's latest IPR-intensive industry report has demonstrated the enormous contribution that IP can make to economies. The research shows that these industries are directly and indirectly responsible for 39.4% of the European jobs, or 82 million jobs, that they account for more than 80% of EU exports, worth some 2.2 trillion euros, and 47% of EU GDP, or 6.4 trillion euros, equivalent to the combined GDP for Germany, the Benelux, and Poland. We know that leveraging the full power of IP for the purpose of driving economic growth and securing societal progress are strategic priorities to ARIPO and its member states. We are therefore firmly committed to supporting UNEO pursuit of these goals. The reinforced partnership will draw on the expertise and capabilities of the EPO to support ARIPO in building a first-class patent administration system. In that context, a flagship initiative worth mentioning here is the Regional Patent Examination Training Program, ARPET, which is the most comprehensive training program delivered by the EPO with a non-member state. The program will create capacity in the region to examine and grant world-class patents. The first pool of examiners received training on the first two modules of the curriculum and will also benefit from first-hand experience with European examiners when they finalize their course next year. The EPO will also endeavor to transfer knowledge and skills to African universities to search and exploit patent information using the EPO's free-to-use patent search platform, ESPASnet, which contains more than 140 million patent documents from around the world. 26 universities in ARIPO member states and observer states benefited from the program in the initial phase. This is combined with the knowledge transfer to Africa initiative, which aims to link 330 patent centers in Europe with selected universities in Africa. Universities from 14 countries, including 4 from ARIPO member states, are already participating in the proof of concept phase of the project. The target is to cover 60 universities in the first year. This move will stimulate technology transfer and help local innovation to thrive. The third area of focus is awareness raising. And in this context, our first priority is to empower the National Patent Office of ARIPO member states through targeted IP awareness raising and capacity building initiatives, which we believe will have a significant impact. The EPO is equipped with the unique skills and the capabilities in the Portuguese language, and collaboration with ARIPO in developing patent-related initiatives may benefit its 3 Lusophone members, Cape Verde, Mozambique, and São Tomé and Príncipe. Here, potential synergies could be explored. The EPO is fully aware that there is a much wider spectrum of IP that ARIPO handles, for which various cooperating partners are also lending their support. So combining our expertise, experience, and their resources may deliver more coordinated and impactful initiatives to ARIPO and its member states. By working together, we can have more impact. Collaboration and commitment to excellence are core values of EPO, values which we also recognize in ARIPO. Before I conclude, allow me to share a few words regarding the unitary patent system, which will offer inventors and business from the ARIPO countries a new option for patent protection in Europe. After decades of negotiations, the unitary patent will finally enter into force in spring of 2023. The new system will strengthen and supplement the existing centralized European patent granting system. Together with the unified patent court, it will provide users increased coverage and legal certainty while reducing costs and complexity, often some of the biggest barriers for innovators interested in accessing the IP system, particularly for the small and medium enterprise. This new environment will ultimately give African inventors from a variety of business demographics, large and small, seamless and secure access to the EU market. To close, I wish you a successful council meeting and reiterate the EPO's availability and willingness to collaborate further with ARIPO and its member state to develop a world-class patent system for the benefit of African innovators, African society, and the world at large. Thank you for listening.
Muito obrigado, Dr. Fernando dos Santos. E agora vou chamar I'd like to call the President of the Eurasian Patent Office, Mr. Gregory Ivlier. A round of applause, please.
Dear colleague, благодарим за приглашение на заседание административного совета АРИПО и теплый прием. Евразийское патентное ведомство ценит традиции диалога между нашими двумя региональными организациями.
Dear colleagues, dear distinguished guests, thank you for the kind invitation to participate in this session of ARIPO Administrative Council and for the warm welcome. The Eurasian Patent Office highly appreciates the tradition of dialogue between our two regional patent organizations. Nowadays, the African continent is strongly moved towards social, economic, scientific, and technological development. We appreciate the traditions of friendship and cooperation.
Уверен, что сегодняшняя мировая патентная система имеет новые центры силы. Наши регионы имеют огромный потенциал роста в части использования инструментов интеллектуальной собственности. Мы заинтересованы в совместной работе для того, чтобы раскрыть этот потенциал, стимулировать изобретательскую и патентную активность, поощрять молодежь, малые и средние предприятия, университеты, их научные центры. Для этого нужны качественные услуги интеллектуальной собственности, подготовленные кадры, модифицированные подходы к работе с использованием современных информационных ресурсов.
We are confident that the global system today has new centers of influence. Our regions have enormous growth potential in terms of the use of intellectual property tools. We are interested in joint cooperation in order to reveal this potential, stimulate inventive and patent activity, and encourage young people, small and medium-sized enterprises, universities, and research centers. It requires IP services of high quality, skilled human resource and streamlined approaches to work using advanced digital technologies. I would like to assure all of you that the EPO is committed to mutually fruitful cooperation in the interests of service users. We are focused on implementing initiatives for the benefit of member states, its innovators and IP officers.
Заявители сейчас недостаточно знают о региональных патентных системах и ее преимуществах. К нам подают заявки сейчас только 3 страны региона – Кения, Сейшелы и Маврикий. Мы готовы совместно работать с вами для продвижения знаний и навыков в сфере интеллектуальной собственности среди наших заявителей.
Applicants are not sufficiently aware of the regional patent systems and its advantages. Applicants from only 3 countries of African region, Kenya, Seychelles, and Mavriky, are applying to the Eurasian Patent Office now. We are ready to work together with you to promote IP knowledge and practice among your applicants.
Широко реализуем масштабные образовательные проекты, в частности, с Российской государственной академией интеллектуальной собственности, крупнейшей в Евразийском регионе по профессиональному обучению в области интеллектуальной собственности.
Since July 1st, the EPO functions as the International Searching Authority under the PCT. 7 IP offices have already recognized the EPO as a competent authority, and the first applications have already been received. The EPO can cost-effectively and efficiently conduct international searches. We are ready to provide our services to all interested parties, including applicants from the African region.
С 1 июля наша организация выполняет функции международного поискового органа. 7 ведомств уже признали ЕПО компетентным органом, уже поступили первые заявки. ЕПО поможет экономично и эффективно провести международный поиск. Мы готовы предоставить услуги всем заинтересованным пользователям, в том числе африканским заявителям. Передали в ARIPO проект плана сотрудничества для практической реализации межведомственного меморандума, который был подписан еще в 2000 году. Заинтересованы в диалоге по региональной системе охраны образцов, промышленных образцов, охраны товарных знаков, разрешения споров в отношении региональных объектов интеллектуальной собственности.
The EPO has already forwarded to ARIPO a draft cooperation plan for the practical implementation of the bilateral memorandum of understanding that was signed in the year 2000. We are interested in dialogue on the regional system of trademark protection, as well as dispute resolution with regards to the regional IP subject matters.
21 сентября этого года мы провели масштабную конференцию IP Евразия, которая была посвящена вопросам охраны инноваций в сфере здравоохранения. Заинтересованы в участии экспертов ARIPO в следующих мероприятиях. Следующая конференция IP пройдет в ноябре 2023 года. Будем рады видеть вас и представителей вашей организации в числе почетных гостей и участников нашего мероприятия. Надеемся на укрепление взаимодействия на благо наших стран.
On September 21st, the EPO held an international conference, IP Eurasia, which was devoted to the protection of innovation in the field of healthcare. We are interested in the participation of ARIPO experts in the next events. The next IP Eurasia conference will be held in November 2023. We would be glad to see you and representatives of your organization among the honorable guests and participants of our event. We sincerely hope to strengthen mutual cooperation for the benefit of our countries.
Позвольте, господин генеральный директор, вручить вам вот эту картину, которая является защищенным объектом интеллектуальной собственности и на которой изображены символы 8 государств, входящих в нашу организацию.
And now let me, dear Director General, to present a unique sample of protected creativity. This is a handmade picture in a Russian traditional technique. Picture reproduces the symbols of all 8 countries included in the Eurasian Patent Organization.
Muito bem, vamos então continuar. Agora gostava de chamar the Chief Executive Officer of the Canadian Intellectual Property Office, o Sr. Georgaras Constantinos. Uma salva de palmas. Portanto, ao mesmo tempo, pedir aqui aos nossos oradores que o discurso, para ajudarem os tradutores que pedem que seja meio lento, não é? O discurso de forma que possa ajudar a tradução. So bear in mind that you're speaking with, we have translators, so we can give them some space so they can translate into Portuguese and English as well. Thank you. Muito obrigado.
All right, thank you very much for the introduction. Minister Savannah Moreno, Director General Bemanya Twabazi from ARIPO, Director General Darren Tang from World Intellectual Property Organization, and Willie Mushai, Chairperson of ARIPO Administrative Council. Thank you for the invitation. Dear fellow heads of intellectual property offices, distinguished guests and participants. On behalf of the Canadian Intellectual Property Office, I am honored to participate at the Administrative Council of the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization. I would also like to thank Mozambique for hosting this year and for the very warm welcome that I have received. I am delighted to be here along many colleagues. I'm thrilled to see some familiar faces and also to meet many new people. First and foremost, congratulations to ARIPO on the continued growth of membership. And within the last few years, Mauritius, Seychelles, and Cabo Verde joined, making ARIPO have 22 member states. So congratulations on that. I'm also thrilled to be here in person. The last time I met with the Administrative Council was in 2019 in Liberia. And in spite of all of the challenges we all faced and the uncertainties we faced together, I'm pleased that we were able to continue our collaboration virtually, and I'm just thrilled to be here in person today. Bilaterally, I'm glad that our organizations, ARIPO and the Canadian Intellectual Property Office, have signed a cooperation agreement, or memorandum of understanding that was signed in October of 2020. That has provided us a framework for continued collaboration. And CIPO is pleased to continue to cooperate with ARIPO in the exchange of information and on multiple fronts. And in this regard, I have the honor to have been invited by ARIPO to present on Thursday afternoon the results of the IP Office of the Future think tank report, which I worked on in collaboration under the leadership of the International Trademark Association, and congratulations to INTA for their exemplary leadership in this area. And in fact, the 12 countries who were part of the think tank also included DG Bemanya Twabazi and DG Tang. So I was also pleased to participate in that report. The IP Office of the Future report covers how the world has changed and continues to change. It outlines how we can deliver on our core mandate and foundational issues, and how we can look beyond what we do as IP offices to support innovation. It really represents the collective wisdom of a number of offices, large and small, on how to share best practices and lessons learned. So on Thursday afternoon, I will provide background on the IP Office of the Future report and the newly released checklist that was just released last week at the INTA conference in Miami. I will also present what the Canadian Intellectual Property Office can do to support ARIPO members who are interested in using this report. And in fact, one of our longstanding contributions in collaboration with ARIPO members is through our work with WIPO on our workshop of management practices. And at that workshop, we have welcomed many people from around the world and many member states from ARIPO. Our next one is early next year, and I hope we can invite more of you along. So to conclude, I wish that this year's Administrative Council has every success, and I look forward to meeting with many of you to learn about ARIPO's work. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado.
Muito obrigado. Vamos agora chamar o diretor-geral da WAPI, o Dr. Denis Bossou. Senhor Denis Bossou, uma salva de palmas, por favor.
Guest of honor, Honorable Silvino Moreno, Minister of Industry and Commerce of Republic of Mozambique, Chairperson of ARIPO Administrative Council, Mr. Willie Mushai, members of Administrative Council of ARIPO, Director General of Institute of Intellectual Property of Mozambique, Jose Joaquim Meke, Director General of ARIPO, Dear Bemania, Director General of World Intellectual Property Organization, Dear Darren Tang, the President of Eurasian Patent Office, Mr. Grigory Ivliev, the President of Canada Intellectual Property Office, Konstantinos Georgaras, representative of ARIPO cooperating partners and IP agents. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. It's a great honor for me to participate in the 46th Ordinary Administrative Council of African Regional Intellectual Property Organization. I would like to seize this opportunity to thank my brother Bemania, DG of ARIPO, for his invitation. I also want to thank the government of Republic of Mozambique for the hospitality and warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, OAP and ARIPO work to promote IP in the member states for the benefit of the user of the IP system. To achieve this objective, the two organizations reviewed their work plan this year and agreed to continue their efforts on the harmonization of their registration system to facilitate the recognition of IP title granted by each office. The realization of this work will facilitate the trade integration expected by African member states. Exactly, regarding the African Continental Free Trade Area, we have put our effort together to support the member state so that we provided the necessary technical assistance to the negotiators of the member state during the discussion on the IP protocol, where we were invited. The objective of a protocol on IP should be to establish a framework of principles and rules on IP property rights to stimulate intra-African trade, to promote economic growth and development in the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, contrary to what may be said, OAP is not against an IP protocol, which will facilitate African trade. However, the protocol on IP should not prejudice intellectual property rights already granted, or the national and regional system of registration of IP long established. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to seize again this opportunity to urge you to draw the attention of the stakeholders in your various countries on the negative impact of poorly provision in IP protocol on the legal and business environment in Africa. To finish, I wish to reiterate OAP's determination to continue its dynamic cooperation with ARIPO to strengthen IP for the economic and technological development of the African continent. Je voudrais, puisque je suis obligé de parler en français, vous remercier encore le gouvernement de Mozambique pour l'accueil chaleureux qui a été réservé à la délégation de l'OAPI. Muito obrigado. Thank you for.
Muito obrigado. Agora vamos ouvir então palavras do diretor-geral da WIPO, o senhor Darren Tang. Mr. Darren Tang.
Honorable Mr. Silvino Moreno, Minister of Industry and Commerce of the Republic of Mozambique, Mr. Willie Mushai, Chairperson of the ARIPO Administrative Council, Mr. Bemanya Tuibaze, Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Jose Joaquim Mac, our host, Director General of IPI Mozambique, Ms. Matilda Mocha, Director General of the National Institute for Cultural Industries, heads of national IP officers, representatives of IP associations, excellencies, distinguished guests. Good morning, bom dia. It is a great honor to be here in this historic and beautiful city of Maputo, the city of acacias, for the 46th session of the ARIPO Administrative Council. Allow me to first thank DG Mac and the team at IPI Mozambique for hosting this year's meeting and for your warm hospitality. One taste of Mozambique seafood, accompanied by warm Mozambique service and smiles, and it feels like home again in Singapore. Muito obrigado. Let me also thank my brother, Director General Bemanya, for inviting me to attend this year's meeting in person, and to say that it's such a pleasure to meet my brothers and sisters in ARIPO, 3 years after we first met in 2019 in Liberia. I heard Liberia mentioned many times today. It seems like it was a very faithful meeting, so it's good to see and have a reunion again. Dear brother, we both took the lead of our respective organizations during a difficult period because of the pandemic. But distance never stopped family from being close and never stopped us from working closely together and laying the foundations for even stronger ties. So I'm very happy to be here again in person. Dear friends and colleagues, the Africa of today is truly on the threshold of a new chapter of its development. The ancient cradle of humankind has now become the world's most youthful continent, with 65% of Africans below the age of 30. Bemanya, you and I are not counted in that group, man. But by 2050, 1 in 4 people on the planet will be African. A region historically divided and carved up by others in the past is now being united through ever-growing trade and people ties, with the creation of the largest free trade area in the world. And economies that depended largely on the richness of its agricultural and natural resources are now increasingly tapping on the richness of its intellectual and people resources. This is why investments in Africa are increasing. Venture capital investments in the region broke all records last year, rising 4 times to more than $3 billion. Startups are growing, and already there are now 7 African unicorns. Africa's creative resources are growing too, with African music, art, and other creative expressions becoming increasingly sought after around the world, with revenues now worth an estimated $4 billion. These changes are reshaping Africa in fundamental ways, unleashing the innovative and creative potential of 1.3 billion people in a pan-African economy of over $3 trillion. In this African Renaissance, as exemplified in your AU Vision 2063, innovation, technology, entrepreneurship, creativity will become increasingly important, and IP will move from the edges to the center of African economies. ARIPO and its members are and will continue to be at the forefront of these important changes. Let us also, however, be frank amongst family about the substantial challenges that lie ahead. Africa is close to 20% of the world's population, but only 0.3% of its R&D expenditure and only 0.5% of patent applications. But never fear, because this gap presents, I believe, an opportunity for us to not just renew our work, but to reimagine our vision and to re-energize the work that we do. At this year's WIPO General Assembly, which I was very pleased to welcome many of you, my brothers and sisters, I said that the work of WIPO and the global IP community cannot be business as usual, and that all of us must take this opportunity to transform the IP office from IP registry and IP regulator to an innovation agency, helping IP be a powerful catalyst for jobs, for investments, for business growth, to support our people, and ultimately to grow and develop our societies and economies. WIPO has been a long-standing partner of ARIPO for decades, and is proud to see that many of you and your member states have already embarked on this transformation journey. Let me share a few examples. The implementation of the Kampala Protocol was a very significant step forward in raising awareness of copyright across the continent, and WIPO is pleased to be working together with ARIPO to establish the first regional voluntary registration system under the agreement. Another significant initiative, and one close to my heart, was the convening of the inaugural Heads of IP Officers, or HIPOC, conference in Eswatini in June this year, which brought all of you as DGs of the ARIPO area together to exchange ideas, share best practices, and strengthen the bonds amongst yourselves as the leaders of the ARIPO community. And as the first DG of WIPO to come from a national IP office, I know the challenges that you face. Support from the political level, resource constraints, legislative pressures, human resource pressures, technology and digitalization. There is no end to these challenges. But that's why when we come together as a community, we can help to solve these problems together. And this sense of community will also allow us to work together to build a more inclusive IP ecosystem, one that no one is left behind, as you said, my brother. One that connects not just with IP experts and specialists, but also women, youth, indigenous communities, and small and medium enterprises. One that does not just focus on the industrial aspects of IP, but also on the developmental, heritage, and creative aspects. Already, the work has started to pick up pace as the brakes imposed on us by the pandemic begin to wear off. For example, the WIPO-ARIPO Joint Masters Program in Intellectual Property is building skills in the practical use of IP, including in the critical area of IP commercialization. Already, we have 300 alumni across the region, and this number is going to grow. Together, we are also supporting universities and research institutes in Ghana, Kenya, Namibia, and Zimbabwe to develop institutional IP policies, which will help more inventors navigate the challenging journey from research to impact. Our IP clubs, which focuses on young, aspiring teenage innovators, have quickly proven to be a success, already reaching nearly 200 participants in Botswana, Malawi, and Zimbabwe. And we are delivering valuable training to collective management organizations across ARIPO member states, as well as a new project to help measure the economic potential of Africa's rich and growing creative economy. As you can see, our work is broad and deep, and the work we are doing will not just reach those who are innovating and creating today, but also lay the foundations for those who are doing so tomorrow and for the generations to come. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, just as Africa has embarked on a journey of transformation, it's time for us as the global IP community to forge a new bond that supports and advances the aspirations and dreams of African entrepreneurs, innovators, creators, communities, and people, and together with all WIPO members and stakeholders, to build a world where IP truly supports everyone, everywhere. And it's my dream to work with you closely. It's my dream to work with you as brothers and sisters, together as a community, to make this vision a reality. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado.
Muito obrigado. E agora vamos ouvir o nosso estimado chairperson da ARIPO. Por favor, a senhora Willy Mushai. Uma salva de palmas aqui para este discurso.
The guest of honor, Honorable Silvino Moreno, Minister of Trade and Industry of the Republic of Zimbabwe. Sorry, Mozambique. We lived too long in this country. It was almost 15 years. Zimbabwe was in Mozambique. Maybe the other way around. The Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Bemanya Twebaz, Director General WIPO, Mr. Darren Tan, and Director General of the Institute of Industrial Property of Mozambique, Mr. Jose Mack, members of the Admin Council, and Director General of OAPI, Mr. Dennis, and all protocols observed. I realize I'm speaking before the big man. Let me not take too much time. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a great honor for me to also welcome you to this 46th session of the Administrative Council of ARIPO. And allow me also to, on behalf of the Admin Council, to express our gratitude to the government of Mozambique for the warm welcome and the preparations that we are seeing here. And I wanted to confirm that this is a convergence of IP great wise men and wise women. So it's an opportunity to take advantage of synergy and go home wiser and better equipped. We come here for that exact purpose. The guest of honor, your presence here this morning and gracing us like this gives us comfort that we have the support at the highest level, and also we have a direction in terms of policy. We are always comforted when we realize that there is a political will to develop and grow IP in Africa in general. So let me also take this opportunity to extend our appreciation to you, Director General of ARIPO, Mr. Bemanya, and your team for the documents and the preparations. Everything looks good now. It certainly took a lot of effort. We are also very much indebted to our brother, Mr. Mack, here for the great job he did and his team. Now, I do know that I don't know if it's the first time as DG. Yeah, it's the first time as DG that Mr. Darren Tan has joined us. When he joined us back then in Liberia, it was, we were a bit free. We talked free, we associated free. I called him by his first name, it didn't matter. It's a bit different now. Okay. All right, but we are very happy that you are here. And coming here in our first Admin Council after COVID, we really realize your commitment, and at that level, I guess maybe it's also motivation to all of us that we need to take our commitment seriously and our jobs very seriously. So there are certain things that you announce, some things you actually delegate, but when it's really important, you want to do it yourself. I guess that's why you're here. You want to make sure that the message gets through and the people, it's face to face. It's working, let me confirm. It's certainly working. So we know that even as ARIPO, we are not alone. we are going through serious changes and we are going through some challenges. We are alert and aware of the depressing figures, and we believe we are the generation to change that. So, guest of honor, we want to assure you that we will commit ourselves even furthermore. I know when we last met in Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, it was right during COVID, and it was not easy for people to congregate and to gather. There were so many restrictions, and I remember some people couldn't even make it. Liberia couldn't make it, and others as well. But we are in Mozambique, where we could all make it. I'm told the seafood is also encouraging. I think that will inspire further discussion. We hope we will have time to see this great city and these great people. So I know the details of our achievements and what we have been doing throughout the year. We will have opportunity to go through that. And also some highlights have already been mentioned. HIPOC, for example, I really believe that was a game changer. May it continue to happen, and we look forward to the next session, which I hope will be early next year. However, allow me also to mention, to join others and to welcoming the new members. It has become a pattern now that 2021, we get to 2021, 2022, we get to 2022. I don't know, DG, what do we have for 2023? I'm already hopeful, I'm hopeful. Thank you again, Cape Verde. Welcome. Yes. Yes, and we are always comforted when WIPO is around. Not so much because it's WIPO, but also because we share a lot of maybe common funds. As Africa, we need every friend we can get, and we certainly right now is the frontier is back to Africa, and we are hoping that as we push forward, pushing back boundaries in IP, pushing back boundaries of technology and innovation, and really reducing the gaps, we become very maybe active and a necessary ingredient in the whole setup. So this ecosystem that we are trying to build here is not just about IP offices, it's beyond IP offices, it's beyond maybe generations, maybe 3 generations from now, we would want people to remember us and remember us positively. So we hope every IP office will do its best to make sure that our contribution will encourage maybe further innovation and further growth in the economy. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to say, but let me end by mentioning that as much as we have a very busy schedule that has been arranged, I believe it's necessary, but we would also want to make sure that we appreciate and take advantage of all our notable visitors that we have today. I think we have got a very big contingent of able and wise men and women. I would encourage as IP offices, let's take advantage of that. Sometimes when we are at WIPO, maybe I'm letting out a secret, the actual work is the side meetings beyond the General Assembly. So that's why we go with the big delegations. The real work is maybe in your offices. So let's do that again here. These people may not be gathered like this easily. So we would want to take advantage of that. So thank you very much. And as we proceed, guest of honor, we would want to let you know that all your efforts and the political investments and economic investment, including budget investments, it's put to good use. We will make sure that we fulfill on our promises as public servants and also as policy makers. We would want you perhaps take a message to His Excellency to say that you saw a very committed group of people and who deserve greater support. Thank you very much.
Muito obrigado. Vamos então continuar para abrir esta sessão oficialmente. Queria pedir aos colegas jornalistas, por causa dos microfones, que o ministro vai falar daquele lado, então, para se posicionarem, tem aqui alguns microfones. Obrigado. Vamos então ao momento, este grande momento do discurso e cerimônia de abertura, por Sua Excelência Silvino Moreno, Ministro da Indústria e Comércio da República de Moçambique. Uma salva de palmas.
Esta cábula. Não, podemos sentar. Vamos sentar. Bom, deixe-me começar por comentar que, com a energia do presidente da ARIPO, vejo aqui uma organização com um futuro bastante brilhante. Meus parabéns ao presidente da ARIPO. Senhor Diretor-Geral da Organização Mundial da Propriedade Intelectual, Senhor Diretor-Geral da ARIPO, Senhor Diretor-Geral da WIPO, caros representantes da SISAC, INTA, IPOS, EPO, EAPO, CIPO, OAPI, Senhor Presidente do Conselho de Administração da Organização Regional Africana de Propriedade Industrial, Intelectual, peço perdão, senhores representantes dos vários países, tenho aqui o prazer de mencionar alguns, que penso que estão aqui presentes, consigo ver pelas placas: Uganda, o Malawi, a Libéria, o Lesoto, Gana, Somália, Sudão, Uganda, Seychelles, Cabo Verde, recentemente admitido, parabéns mais uma vez, Zâmbia, o Zimbábue, Tanzânia, Namíbia e outros países, se eventualmente não mencionei. Boas-vindas à República de Moçambique. Senhores membros do Conselho Consultivo dos Ministérios da Indústria e Comércio e da Cultura e Turismo, senhores representantes dos escritórios e agentes oficiais de propriedade industrial, caros convidados, minhas senhoras e meus senhores, permitam-me, em primeiro lugar, apresentar, em nome de Sua Excelência o Presidente da República, Engenheiro Filipe Jacinto Nunes, e do povo moçambicano, os cumprimentos de boas-vindas a esta pérola do Índico. A todos auguro uma memorável estadia. A afabilidade do nosso povo, a nossa variada e típica gastronomia, o esplendor das nossas praias paradisíacas, as nossas tradições e expressões culturais, enfim, a nossa moçambicanidade constituem o nosso cartão de visita. E aqui nós dizemos assim: quem aqui chega não mais quer partir. Moçambique propôs a acolher a 46ª sessão ordinária do Conselho de Administração da ARIPO, num momento particularmente desafiante em todo o mundo. A pandemia da Covid-19, que muitas vidas se for, ainda constitui uma ameaça global para a qual não existe uma resposta efetiva. A fome que ameaça subtrair vidas num continente com extensas áreas de terra arável, mas que continua a depender da chuva para alimentar a sua população, os ciclones que ciclicamente destroem infraestruturas e semeiam luto em várias partes da África, incluindo Moçambique. Todos lembramos-nos da catástrofe causada pelo ciclone Zidai, pelo ciclone Gombe, o Kennedy e outros. São realidades que demandam respostas que ainda não fomos capazes de oferecer. O sistema de propriedade intelectual é um poderosíssimo instrumento de promoção do progresso e desenvolvimento social e econômico, tecnológico e cultural, pelo que dele se esperam estratégias que possam contribuir para mitigar ou debelar os problemas acima referidos. Apesar do atraso tecnológico que caracteriza o continente africano, o facto é que mais de metade da sua população tem na agricultura a sua principal fonte de sustento e sobrevivência. Minhas senhoras, meus senhores, o principal desafio que a todos se coloca é saber de que forma é que a propriedade intelectual pode contribuir para a valorização dos produtos agrícolas de forma a conferir-lhes vantagens comparativas e competitivas no mercado nacional e internacional. O uso estratégico da propriedade intelectual pode ajudar a agregar valor, não apenas aos produtos tecnológicos, mas também aos produtos agrícolas, processados ou não. Com efeito, quando claramente diferenciados, os produtos que tenham qualidade, características ou reputação associadas a uma origem geográfica específica podem ser qualificados como indicações geográficas ou denominações de origem, o que permite aos produtores tirar vantagens competitivas e comparativas derivadas da sua singularidade. As nossas universidades, os nossos centros de investigação e pesquisa, as nossas escolas técnicas produzem conhecimento que, infelizmente, não é e ainda suficientemente canalizado para o desenvolvimento das nossas economias. Todos temos consciência da importância e potencial que o conhecimento científico e a inovação jogam no desenvolvimento social e econômico de qualquer sociedade. Apesar desse reconhecimento, devemos indagar sobre o papel que, no contexto atual, a investigação e pesquisa jogam no mercado produtivo e de transformação social e econômica do nosso continente. É legítimo questionarmos-nos acerca do nível de interação existente entre os centros de produção de conhecimento e o setor produtivo. Um diagnóstico sério e sincero permitir-nos a constatar que, excetuando casos muito isolados, no geral, estamos muito aquém do desejável. Como é fácil de notar, a fraca incorporação do conhecimento científico no quadro da produção industrial está na origem do fraco desempenho competitivo das economias africanas. Que respostas as instituições nacionais de administração da propriedade intelectual, a ARIPO, a OMPI, têm para estes desafios? A nível do nosso país e em reconhecimento da importância que a propriedade industrial assume no processo de desenvolvimento econômico, científico e tecnológico, na atração do investimento, na defesa do consumidor, no incentivo à inovação e na promoção da lealdade do comércio, o Estado moçambicano, através do governo, vem adotando medidas que visam a valorização da propriedade industrial, através da definição e implementação de políticas, estratégias, normas e procedimentos que definem as condições e formas de aquisição, manutenção, disposição e extinção dos direitos de propriedade intelectual e industrial. Com efeito, a aprovação em 2008 pelo governo de Moçambique da estratégia da propriedade intelectual, a qual define o incremento da capacidade de inovação como fator impulsionador do desenvolvimento tecnológico industrial e da competitividade da economia nacional, tinha como foco a edificação de uma economia baseada no conhecimento. Para tanto, não basta apenas que que os centros de investigação produzam conhecimento. Envolvidos 14 anos da sua implementação, a Estratégia Nacional da Propriedade Intelectual mostra-se desfasada da realidade atual, pelo que urge revisitá-la com vista a adequar as ações estratégicas nela constantes aos desafios mais prementes do nosso desenvolvimento. Minhas senhoras e meus senhores, permitam-nos expressar os nossos agradecimentos à UNPI pela assistência técnica prestada a Moçambique na componente da capacitação institucional, bem como na implementação de projetos ligados à modernização e automação dos sistemas de registro de propriedade industrial e processo de valorização de produtos nacionais baseados na origem, através do sistema de indicações geográficas, a exemplo do cabrito de Tete, e agora o processo em curso do registro do arroz aromático da Zambésia, para além de outros produtos. O Programa Quinquenal do Governo 2020-2024 tem como uma das suas prioridades incentivar e consolidar o sistema da propriedade industrial em Moçambique como ativo necessário para a competitividade empresarial. Daí a importância da elaboração da política de revisão da estratégia da propriedade intelectual e para a qual contamos com o suporte da OMPI. Destacamos igualmente o Programa Nacional de Industrialização de Moçambique, o PRONAI, lançado por Sua Excelência o Presidente da República em 2021. Este programa assenta na inovação e criatividade e tem como um dos seus objetivos valorizar a produção nacional e reduzir as importações. Minhas senhoras, meus senhores, não poderia terminar esta minha intervenção sem me referir às negociações do protocolo sobre direitos da propriedade intelectual na zona de comércio livre continental africana. A criação da zona de comércio livre continental africana tem por objetivo estabelecer regras claras, transparentes, previsíveis e mutuamente vantajosas para reger o comércio de mercadoria e de serviços, a política da concorrência, o investimento e a propriedade intelectual e resolver os desafios relativos aos regimes comerciais múltiplos que se sobrepõem com vista a alcançar a coerência das políticas, particularmente nas relações com terceiros. O objetivo geral das negociações do protocolo sobre direitos da propriedade intelectual da Zona de Comércio Livre Continental Africana é o estabelecimento de um quadro continental de princípios e de coordenação de políticas e direção estratégica para o desenvolvimento do sistema de propriedade intelectual em África, com vista a impulsionar o comércio intra-africano em conformidade com os objetivos do Acordo da Zona de Comércio Livre Continental Africana e promover o crescimento econômico, bem como o desenvolvimento do continente. Nesta perspectiva, a adoção de um protocolo continental sobre direitos da propriedade, da política da propriedade intelectual, constitui uma necessidade urgente, pois o mesmo contribuirá decisivamente para a harmonização dos padrões de promoção, proteção e comercialização de direitos de propriedade intelectual, com ganhos para a economia do continente como um todo, ao mesmo tempo que incentiva a criatividade, a transferência de conhecimento e know-how e o acesso às novas tecnologias. Neste fórum, queremos reafirmar a nossa posição, segundo a qual as negociações sobre o referido protocolo deverão cingir-se à criação de um quadro de cooperação e coordenação de políticas entre os Estados-membros, consentâneas com os objetivos do Acordo sobre a Zona de Comércio Livre Continental Africana, que é a facilitação do comércio intra-africano. Da adoção deste protocolo sobrevirão desafios à ARIPO. Convidamos a todos vós para que se engajem ativamente na análise das estratégias que devem ser adotadas para assegurar a integração do continente e a sobrevivência da ARIPO. A terminar, desejo a todos sucessos nas vossas discussões. Com estas palavras, declaro oficialmente aberta a 46ª sessão ordinária do Conselho de Administração da ARIPO, Organização Regional Africana da Propriedade Intelectual. Pela vossa atenção, merci beaucoup, thank you very much, obrigado pela vossa atenção.
Obrigado, Excelência. Já quase ao fim da nossa sessão esta manhã, antes eu tenho informação que há um brinde que a organização aqui vai fazer entrega à Sua Excelência, o Ministro da Economia, e gostava de pedir aqui Director General, please, of ARIPO, Mr. Bemania Tobas. Can we have you on stage? I assume that there's a gift to be handled. Yes, thank you. E, portanto, depois deste momento, ainda vamos ter uma foto de família lá fora. Portanto, segue-se a ordem primeiro, a mesa de hora, para fazer a fotografia lá fora. E todos os outros delegados também vão ter que fazer parte desta sessão. So there is a moment that we're going to take a picture, a photo of the board here first, then the other delegates, they will follow to do the photo outside.
Honorable Minister, we have a token of appreciation to His Excellency, the President, through you. It's a painting that depicts the immense potential regarding IP in Africa, and I hope you have a special place in his office to keep him reminding about what Africa is doing, but more especially what African Regional Intellectual Property Organization is doing to champion intellectual property in Africa. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Silvino Moreno, this is also for you in recognition of your contribution to the development and growth of ARIPO. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Excelência, sei que também não veio aqui de mãos a abanar. Tem um presente também para fazer entrega. Yes. There's a gift. Yes. I think he knew beforehand that you're gonna give him some gifts, so you know, he stepped up. Muito obrigado. A este momento, gostava de agradecer a todos pela presença aqui esta manhã, nesta sessão oficial, que já está, portanto, já estamos já quase no final da cerimónia. Vamos ter um momento de pequeno almoço lá fora, mas antes disso, vamos fazer uma fotografia com a mesa de honra primeiro e logo a seguir os outros delegados também vão acompanhar para se juntarem e fazerem a fotografia lá fora, portanto, na saída aqui do hotel. Portanto, quero pedir, por favor, para seguirem primeiro, depois os delegados vão seguir para fazer a fotografia. Muito obrigado. Obrigado. We can have 2 moments actually. Yeah, first picture here, then the other one outside. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Now we can move outside for the other picture. So after that, after 1 minute, or maybe you can follow through now for, for the picture to be taken outside. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the breakfast as well.